Good morning. I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. I'm Chief Vito Sinopoli with the Bath Township Police Department. And with me today are Attorney General Dave Yost, his Press Secretary Steve Irwin, John Smurglia with the ATF, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Ann Murphy with the U.S. Marshals Service, Dave Laughlin, Captain with the Akron Police Department, Mark Kohler with BCI, Chief Rob Campbell. I also want to recognize the BCI team who was here working nonstop. That would be Matt Armstrong, BCI Special Agent Supervisor with the Ohio Attorney General's Office, Nick Valente, Corey Momchalov, Austin Fedchuk, Andy Harmashuk, John Lieber with BCI, and anyone else who I may have forgotten. Our Bath detectives, Rob Young and Dan Riley. Also want to recognize two of our trustees here today, Sharon Troike and Sean Gaffney, Captain Steve Brown, and members of our police department, also Sergeant Kevin Moats and Patrolman Lee Oubre, who are here today as well. We're here today to announce a significant development in the investigation of the tragic shooting that occurred on November 2nd on Top of the Hill Drive in Bath Township. Since that morning, investigators with the Bath Township Police Department and the Bureau of Criminal Investigation have been working tirelessly on this complex and challenging case. Our teams conducted extensive witness interviews, collected and processed large amounts of evidence, and followed numerous investigative leads. All available resources from the Bath Township Police Department and the Bureau of Criminal Investigation were used in connection with the investigation of this case. The involvement of BCI expanded our forensic support, specialized investigative resources, and greater technical capacity for evidence processing. This partnership proved invaluable as investigators worked through ballistic evidence, digital data, witness testimony, and other critical leads. As a result of this tremendous effort by the investigative team, 3 suspects were identified and several arrests have been made. Investigators from the Bath Township Police Department, Akron Police Department, ATF, and the U.S. Marshals first located and arrested 18-year-old Derquan Edwards at a residence in New Philadelphia on November 14th. That arrest stemmed from an Akron Police Department investigation of the theft of a firearm. Information and evidence obtained through the investigation substantiated investigators' beliefs that Edwards was a participant in the Bath Township November 2nd shooting. In addition, a juvenile was present with Derquan Edwards at the time of the arrest in New Philadelphia. This second suspect, a 16-year-old male, was arrested on November 19th on charges related to the Bath Township shooting. He's currently being held in the juvenile detention facility in the city of Akron. On November 18th, 2025, a third suspect identified by investigators was arrested. 19-year-old Jashawn Stewart was arrested by the Akron Police Department in connection with a vehicle pursuit and arrest where a firearm was recovered. He's also a subject in 2 additional shooting incidents in a stolen vehicle investigation. A firearm was recovered from the vehicle at the time of the arrest. After a review of the evidence and meetings with the City of Akron prosecutor and representatives from the Summit County Prosecutor's Office, including the Juvenile Division, criminal charges were authorized. As of this morning, the following charges have been filed. Derquan Edwards, 18 years of age, has been charged with 1 count of murder and 9 counts of felonious assault. A 16-year-old male was charged with 1 count of delinquency to commit murder and 9 counts of delinquency to commit felonious assault. Jashawn Stewart, 19 years of age, has been charged with 1 count of murder and 9 counts of felonious assault. All the charges filed include firearm specifications. It is anticipated that additional charges will be filed at a later date. As a reminder, charges are criminal allegations to be innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. This investigation remains active and ongoing, and we continue to pursue additional leads in this case. Investigators are committed to ensuring that every person responsible for the shooting is held accountable. getting us to this point. More importantly, their professionalism and courage made a difference during a time of tremendous chaos and hardship. To arrive at this point in this complex and responders related to an incident this serious can have a dramatic effect on them. And I want to thank Representatives who are part of Summit County responders. We also want to express our continued commitment to justice for the victims and their families in this tragic incident, for those who were injured, and for Elijah Wells, whose life was tragically lost in the shooting. Our thoughts remain with all those who sustained injuries and with the family of Elijah Wells, including his mother in the audience today. We understand that there are some violations associated with short-term rentals. Residential neighborhoods. We're also working closely with our Bath Township Zoning Department to include regulations. Although townships have limited authority, civil remedies investigators and partnering agencies. I want to take this moment to speak directly to our community, especially to parents and those who are standing in the shoes of parents. As this incident has shown, people make, the company they keep and the influences around them can have a serious and lasting consequence on them.
Congratulations. Of him was killed in a senseless act of violence. My heart goes out to his family. His family for their patience and their trust that justice of before this incident occurred. In early 2022, directed BCI to provide almost instantaneous ballistic evidence comparison for every law enforcement agency in Ohio. NIBIN is the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, a database of firearms casings that allows investigators to compare cartridges from one scene to another. I directed BCI not only to invest in the technology, but the people that would run the machines and do the analysis to forge new connections with the federal government that hosts the database. Our experts who worked this case quickly input the ballistic evidence in this case into NIBIN, and using their expertise quickly made correlations on other known shootings. I want to emphasize that it was those experts at BCI doing the work locally, not backlogged through the National Correlation Center, but making correlations right here in Ohio that gave immediate leads to the investigators to pursue. Just 3 years ago, this process would have been slow, clunky, awkward. Now it's a standard practice and is incredibly fast. The second area was DNA. After we began the initiative, it became the laboratory's capacity to process DNA from firearms, and particularly from cartridge casings, which is a special thing. It's difficult to do. They're small. They're not flat surfaces. And the process up till that point was a little bit fickle. We invested a lot of time and effort in enhancing our capacity to use DNA, touch DNA analysis from cartridges, not only because of the large number of firearms thefts and offenses, but also my confidence in BCI's laboratory drove me to that decision. And the DNA analysis of cartridges is now almost routine. Our folks at BCI have gotten really good at it. The last thing we did was corrected a little bit of a challenge that we had. Starting in 2020, we began to be asked more and more frequently to do officer-involved uses of lethal force to provide a thorough professional investigation, to provide that assistance so that local communities could be convinced that this wasn't a DIY kind of investigation of the local police investigating the local police, but that it was independently and fairly done. The challenge, though, was the increase in workload meant that we weren't responding as quickly to cases like this. Leadership, Mark Kohler, who's here, and Superintendent Bruce Pijanowski, we reorganized BCI and created a separate force investigation unit to handle those officer-involved incidents and reinvigorate special investigations to do what they do, which is cases just like this one. And that reinvigorated unit, I think, was key to the results here. Than ever. It's what I call a force multiplier for local law enforcement. We are always available to come in, not to take over. The TV stuff where you see the federal government come in and, fight with the locals about who's got jurisdiction, it doesn't occur in Ohio. We are secondary to local law enforcement. We follow the chief's lead. We follow the local prosecutor's lead. We are a force multiplier for the people that are on the ground to work. Glad to do investigation. Obviously, Bath Township, Akron, the marshals, several others that the chief mentioned. This combined effort has been tireless and is remarkable for the quick break in this. Bottom line is this. We will do the work. Accountability is now up to the court system. We have a very able prosecutor here in Summit County, and I've been proud to work with he and his staff. And I would like to now invite Elliot Kolkovich to come. Next steps.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your work,
sir. Of course, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Elliot Kolkovich, your Summit County prosecutor. I want to thank you all for being here today, and of course offer our condolences to Ms. Wells and the loss of her son, Elijah. We are here because of Chief Sinopoly's foresight to engage every resource at his disposal. And I want to echo the Attorney General and all the agencies he thanked in his speech, and again thank Chief Sinopoly for all of his work in engaging those resources. Regarding the timeline, all of those charges have been filed locally. At this point, our prosecutors are working with the agencies to gather all of the evidence and reports with an eye towards presenting these cases to a grand jury shortly after Thanksgiving. Regarding the juvenile, that case will go through the process, potentially being bound over to adult court, maybe the end of the year or early in the new year. And I would like to thank all remarks for their quick work in this. As Chief Sinopoly said, we are about 3 weeks out, and that is excellent work done by all law enforcement in this matter. Thank you. Chief.
Just first and foremost, on behalf of ATF, we'd just like to give our condolences to Wells and family. This law enforcement is about partnerships. This is part and parcel as to why we built the new Akron CJIC here in Northern Ohio, to be a part of these types of investigations, to help our local partners, to help our state partners, and other federal partners. So at this time, we'd just like to thank you for the partnership. Glad we could appreciate our investigators and their rapid response, and look forward to attacking violence, continuing to attack violence here in Northern Ohio. As the Attorney General said, and I think we've said this before in other press conferences here, violent crime is not welcome here in Northern Ohio. If you're going to pick up a gun and be a shooter, expect to deal with us. Thank you.
Ms. Murphy with the U.S. Marshals. Okay, very good. Captain Laughlin, would you like to say any words? Very good. Mr. Collar? Nothing. I'd also like to recognize another one of our elected officials, Trustee Elena Goodrich, and I would like to
families and all other responding agencies. These men and women dedicate their service to helping and protecting residents. Their training proved invaluable both in safety and in saving lives, and the response was professional and exceptional. Investigators, these men and women around me, I want to say thank you. And of course to Bath Police Chief Sinopoli. His invaluable leadership in Bath Town. I can't thank it. Our first responders and all the unsung heroes who protect us daily. Thank you.
Trustee Sharon Trickey.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here and covering this very important press release conference. I want to, again, echo what so many have said to thank all of those who played a part in not only detective work and the end result that we have here today, but thinking about nearly 3 weeks ago, our police officers and our first responders, paramedics, firefighters, running into a situation that was unknown, chaotic at best. And especially for our paramedics who are unarmed, to run into a situation not knowing how many shooters there are if they were going to be targeted. Thank you to Mr. Husted for supporting us this morning. I want to thank our Detective Bureau, who did an outstanding job working diligently and tirelessly with BCI to bring us to this point. There is someone that we haven't really mentioned specifically. I won't tell you her name, but we have a dispatcher who was calls by herself within just a matter of minutes, all the while helping to stay in communication with our first responders. I think that's pretty incredible. So I really do want to thank her specifically. I want to tell you all, I want to tell the Wells family, I continue to pray for you in your unimaginable loss, because even though Elijah may have been technically an adult at 18, he'll always be your baby.
Bath Fire Chief Rob Campbell.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming. I don't think it can be said enough that our deepest condolences go out to the family of Mr. Wells. No family should have to endure this, and I can't imagine how their lives have been forever changed by that, as well as the many victims who have recovered from their wounds, but long into the future. Bath Township's a small community. Our forces are small, so an incident like this can quickly overwhelm resources. I am extremely thankful for the EMS teams from Richfield, Copley Township, City of Fairlawn Township, Sharon Township, City of Cuyahoga Falls, City of Akron, City of Norton. They all came to us in our moment of need rapidly, and they all functioned along with our law enforcement partners from all those agencies as one cohesive team. In the lives of the people that made a difference. I would like to sit here and tell you that I celebrate that, we only had one fatality. I also want to take the opportunity to congratulate Chief Sinopoli, all the investigators on the case. I have seen firsthand how hard they have worked, and I'm very appreciative and proud of the job that they have done and the conclusion that we've arrived at. Thank you.
All right. If there are any questions, I also do want to recognize our officers in the back. I introduced Sergeant Moats, Officer Oubre, and Officer Jason Knauer who came in. It's those individuals who are really, who we need to recognize and appreciate the hard work that they do every day. And I truly am appreciative. So thank you for being here today.
Chief, walk us through exactly what happened that night. What exactly happened?
remains ongoing and active, so there's not a great deal of information, but we do understand that they did arrive.
Three suspects. If so, the reward that was out there, is that going to be handed out, and maybe more of an explanation of how you found.
So just to clarify, with regarding Crime Stoppers, and the investigative team had chosen early on to delay the inclusion of Crime Stoppers because they wanted to concentrate most of the tips and information coming to the intel@ohioattorneygeneral.gov line. So I know there was also an ancillary reward that was offered, but that was not by a group affiliated with local Summit County law enforcement, so I'm not sure what the status of that is. But again, the investigation remains ongoing and active, and our investigators are working closely. It was really a collaborative effort among a number of agencies, and but beyond that, I can't really say whether the witnesses were crucial into the conclusion that we came at today.
Did you have any particular evidence from cameras on the scene, road cameras, anything that helped you identify these suspects? Was that kind of technology used?
So obviously technology played a crucial role in this case, but again, the investigation is active and ongoing, and we do want to, don't risk the jeopardizing the investigation with any information prematurely disseminated. Mr. Nethers?
Yeah, Chief, could you help us once again with the names of Edwards and Stewart, the two individuals, two adults
Yeah.
who were charged?
What information would you like, Dave?
The